everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of the Raccoon Club podcast. First of all, forgive the voice quality. I'm not in my regular recording studio. I'm actually traveling. I'm in Vegas this week for a film festival. And it got me thinking about mirages and illusions, because I think Vegas is sort of the perfect example of an illusion and a mirage, and how we all have our own mirages and illusions in life that we sometimes have to struggle with, that we sometimes have to come to terms with. So if you don't know anything about Vegas, it was originally a desert. It was barren. It was empty. The mob basically set up shop here, realizing that it was far enough away from the law in Washington, from the feds in Washington, that it was a perfect place to set up their gambling operation. So they built an entire city from the ground up in the middle of nowhere. And because of it, it's completely artificial. Like, it is an utterly artificial place. You get that sort of plastic sense of Vegas. It's filled with artificial monuments. They have a fake Eiffel Tower. They have a fake pyramid. They have a fake Roman complex. Everything about this place is utterly and completely artificial, just like a mirage, just like an illusion of water in a desert. And they built this entire city around the illusion of winning, because that's really what Vegas is. That's what casinos are. They're the illusion that you have a chance of winning. They know with mathematical certainty that the overwhelming majority of people that walk into a casino, that walk onto a gambling floor, are going to lose. They know with mathematical certainty how much money they will make that night based on how much money is placed in the slot machines. And they're able to build an entire industry around the fact that people will still believe in the illusion of winning, the mirage of winning, the mirage of success that comes with that Vegas glitz and glamour. The hotel I'm staying at, like all hotels in Vegas, is a hotel / casino. And so on the main floor is a casino. And I've been here a couple of days now. And when I come in, I don't gamble. I'm not much of a gambler, but I do love casinos. I love the sights and the sounds. I love looking at people clearly feeding an addiction and trying to figure out what brought that person there. And there's this old lady, and I'm not sure why they're always old ladies, that every day in the exact same slot machine for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end, hitting the same couple of buttons again and again, trying to win at the digital slot machines. And at first, it's sort of a curiosity. At first, you sort of look at it and go, I wonder why this person is sitting here after having lost so much already, thinking that the next button that she hits is going to be the winner, thinking that somehow she's going to break the bank. People that think that they're just one button away from winning the big one. And it made me think of the larger issue of mirages and illusions. Because, like I mentioned, I'm actually here in Vegas because of a screenwriting competition that I entered. And in many ways, I'm no different than that old lady sitting in that slot machine, hitting that button again and again, because she probably has a better chance of hitting that jackpot than I do of becoming a success in Hollywood. It's just the numbers, it's the odds. I probably have a better statistical chance of breaking the bank in Vegas than I do getting anywhere near a film set or anywhere near an Oscar ceremony in real life. So am I different than that old lady? Is the dream to become a filmmaker or a writer or an artist, someone who can live off of it, someone who can be successful off of it, is that no different than someone playing the lottery? Is that no different than someone who can't walk away from the blackjack table, from the roulette table? Because at the end of the day, the odds are still the same. The odds are astronomical of success. And I look at the casino floor and I keep wondering if our own dreams and our own ambitions sometimes is a form of gambling, is a form of the belief in the mirage. But a significant number of Americans, I'm sure Canadians and Brits and French, think that there is a good chance of them becoming millionaires in life. That if they just work hard enough, if they apply themselves, they'll be part of that 1%. They'll be part of that rich and famous. And again, like everything else, the mirage of success is there because it will never happen to most people. Most people will never be part of the 1% because that's why they're the 1%. Most people will never win the big one in Vegas because the odds are deliberately stacked against you. So I look at my life as a filmmaker, as a screenwriter, and I wonder if me sitting at my computer, tapping away at my keyboard, writing that script that I think is going to be bought, that I think is going to win an award, if that is any different than that old lady hitting that button again and again at that video poker machine, thinking that she's going to hit the big one. And when I sort of judged her originally, I now look back and go, am I in any position to judge anyone on that? Is my mirage any different than her mirage? Is it any different than the mirage that built this place? The atmosphere in Vegas is so over the top luxurious sometimes that you begin to realize that it's also part of that fake mentality. Again, presenting this life of luxury, presenting this life of wealth and success that they know the overwhelming majority of people that walk through their doors will never get a touch of. And in fact, by walking into those casino doors, you are now statistically less likely to be successful in life because you're going to dump all your money into their machines. And I then look back at myself and my own experiences, and I look at all the time that I've invested money in screenplay competitions or screenwriting seminars or networking events. And I ask myself, is that my Vegas? Is that my casino floor? Is that my mirage in the desert? The belief that if I go to this next networking event, if I submit my screenplay to this competition, that this will be the crack in the door that gets me in there. And I looked at that old lady hunched over that video slot machine, and all I saw was myself hunched over my own computer, tapping away at my next mirage, tapping away at my next illusion of possible success. The idea that this screenplay is going to be the one that takes me to where I want to be. And I have to tell you, it was kind of a depressingly profound observation. And I say that because, you know, on one hand, you sort of go, oh my God, I'm the old lady in the slot machine. But on the other hand, it gives you sort of perspective in terms of why you do what you do. I think the difference between myself and that old lady on the slot machine is she's actually miserable playing that game. She's actually unbelievably unhappy hitting that button again and again and again, hoping that that next hit is going to be the win. And the more she plays, the more miserable she gets. And I have to remind myself that to avoid becoming that person, I have to do what I do for the sheer love and joy of it. Because if I do what I do thinking I'm going to hit the jackpot, if I live my life thinking that I'm going to break the bank in Vegas, break the bank in Hollywood, then every keyboard stroke that I make is just going to make me more and more depressed and more miserable. As depressed as I was, and I was actually kind of down today. I had one of those days that, you know, you sort of felt like God was kicking in the stomach, and then he tag teamed Satan and he let him work on you for a bit. But I got to tell you, I came out of it a little hopeful because I realized the difference between myself and that old lady in the slot machine. And the difference is not just of perspective, but it's of practice. That I have to practice the art of loving what I do. That I have to practice the art of enjoying what I do. Because if I don't, then I might as well take every penny I have and put it on a random number or a random color on the roulette table and just be done with it. Many of you may hear this story and maybe see your own mirages in life. Maybe see your own gambling addiction in life. Is there something that you're working on again and again and again, not because it makes you happy, but because you think you're going to hit the big one with this next move, with your next play, with your next project, with your next investment, with your next deal? So how about you? What are your mirages in life? Let me know. I'm curious to find out what your illusions are. I'm curious to find out what you feel you may be gambling at in life. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Raccoon Club podcast. Really appreciate it. Again, this is going to be one of the very few ones that are personally based. We'll catch you next time.